Tea time.
Tea time.
But you made fun of me last week for doing my gangster.
No, do it.
shout.
I like gangsters. I like you being a gangster. You are wearing somewhat of a, beanie and
Tea time.
t-shirt time.
T-shirt time.
Oh man, this is going badly. Hey, listen, there are a lot of sermons out there. There's a lot of inspirational content. We just wanted to have a cup of tea with you once a week. That's our real goal. So to those of you on YouTube, to those of you, I was going to pull up the YouTube comments too so I can see everybody. We've been putting these on my YouTube channel too after the fact. So if you are only able to catch a moment of it, you can always go back. You're like, Levi, we don't want any more time with you. That's fine, I understand. But if you do want more time with us, those are there. This is on Fresh Life's YouTube.
Oh, hello from Indonesia.
Yes, do let us know where you are joining from.
I will have a free tea.
Also, please let us know
Free tea time.
what sort of a tea you are having.
Free tea.
Oh, there we go. I see comments from Croatia on our Fresh Life YouTube, and where else are you guys from? And what Trinidad? That is awesome. Riverside,
Ooh.
California, and Scotland.
You're welcome for the book
And
Swipe
Pittsburgh.
Right on his behalf.
Did I not see
Scotland.
it? Awesome. The woods of Montana. Jane.
Jane.
I'm glad that you got a
shout out
wireless-
to
a
Jane
wireless
Hartman.
signal
I just want to talk about
To
Jane.
London. See? London. This is Earl Grey tea right here. So I feel like Australia, that's a tea drinking place.
Peppermint. Okay, so I want to talk about Jane Hartman real quick. She is
Cheers,
and her husband Garen and their girls Mabel and Cricket are part of our
They've
church.
been a part of our church for so
from
long.
the very beginning. But she was actually the first person who reached out to me when we moved to Montana
Upstate
and didn't
New York,
know me,
Miami, Florida, Ireland.
but
SoFlo.
invited me to lunch. We had lunch together at Mackenzie River Pizza and was just so kind and so welcoming. And Jane, you've just been a source of encouragement in my life. But
Well, gosh, Jenny, that is
thankful
so
for you.
nice.
Anyways,
Germany and
Jane.
Florida. I am embarrassed. I'm not that embarrassed. It's actually great. So I see strawberry and raspberry tea. Man, that sounds delicious, doesn't it?
Brazil.
Mississippi and Brazil. Awesome. What kind of tea are we drinking
Yay,
today,
Jane.
ladies and gentlemen? And is it sweetened? I think that's the question today. Is your tea sweetened? And if so, I don't want to get controversial, but make sure there's not, honey in it or anything weird, right?
I don't have honey in mine. I love sweet tea.
Yeah.
If I could drink anything all the time, it would be sweet tea from Chick-fil-A. But
That's funny. She said, is northern Montana no-mo? Like Soho would be south of Houston Street in...
oh, we should start that.
Isn't it Houston Street? It's not Houston. In New York City?
Well, I think different people say it differently, but
And then there's...
Northern Montana, NOMO.
No, I
really
think...
like that.
Is someone from New York... I saw New York a minute ago. Am I right? Is it Houston? It's not Houston.
The only tea you care about is purity, Kyle.
That's funny. The...
Houston. I think we've heard that it is that, but they call it no. But it's NoHo still.
No, I think it's Houston, not Houston, though.
Yeah.
And Soho. And anyhow, that's my thoughts. I just saw a great question about date night. I do want to get to that because I have a Winston Churchill quote for the day.
You would have a Winston Churchill quote for the day.
Yeah, I do.
I don't even know. I don't know any. I don't have any quote in my mind right now.
Sure you do.
I don't have any quotes.
Chris Durso, you would know. Thank you. Chris, is it Houston or Houston with Soho? South of Houston? Is that right?
Yes,
okay,
correct.
Thank you. Chris Durso lives in the greatest city in the United States of America, in my opinion, New York City. We are
Orange
praying
County.
for New York. They've been so hard hit
Yes,
with
we
this COVID-19.
are.
Chris and his wife Yaris lead a church called Saints Church New York. It is incredible. Their branding, their feel, their vision, they're doing an incredible job. And we love the Dursos. We love New York. So the Winston Churchill quote of the day. How do I type that? Maybe you could just give me a yes that I'm saying it correctly. Houston. How do I do
House.
that?
House if it's house.
House. Houston. Okay, so, he said wrong Chicago. Now that's controversial when you think about Chicago and New York, the big rivalry there. There's a massive rivalry at one point. because Chicago became the second biggest city in the United States.
You are
Houston.
correct. House.
Thank you.
Thanks, Chris.
Chris, with the information to save the day. I sound like an idiot here. Don't you love Soho? It's south of Houston. It's that in Texas. So Chicago, New York, the rivalry was pretty intense. And actually, the windy city of Chicago is not about the wind, even though it's very windy in Chicago. The reason they call it the Windy City is because they said Chicago people ran their mouth so much and would talk smack on other cities like New York, saying they're the best, and their politicians were just full of hot air. They call Chicago the Windy City because they were just so full of wind and bragging and running their mouth. So I love that as I'm talking about New York being amazing, we're instantly seeing Chicago people rise up with what? Wind. The Windy City coming through again. See, yeah, they do. Although having said all that and been completely belligerent about it, I do love Chicago as well. Chicago is our little brother. See?
Oh, that's so kind.
That's pretty,
Renee just finished Through the Eyes of a Lion today.
That's pretty pandering, by the way. Oh, that's awesome. Thanks for reading that book.
That's amazing.
Okay, so the Winston Churchill quote of the day. I know just a minute ago I saw something about a date night, which we just hit our wedding anniversary of 16 years.
16!
God, Jennifer, you're embarrassing me in front of my friends. Is that every couple minutes?
No, I'll stop.
No, I think it should be a theme today. With regards to our date, we had the greatest date night.
Winston Churchill quote.
It's coming. I'm going to lead people along. It's like how they announce some crazy thing. By the end of the episode, you get it. So I'm going to keep teasing you along with our Churchill quote. But do it more, Jenny. See, they like it. The people like it.
All caps.
So for our date, I cooked. Our friends sent us two fillets. Is that plural?
Fillets.
Two fillets.
2 fillets for the price of 1.
2 fillets. How do you say plural fillets? Fillets.
Fillets.
What's the weirdest word that becomes plural and goes strange?
Moose.
How do you say that? Plural.
Moose.
It's not the weirdest. It's the same. I'm talking about like cacti.
Okay.
What's plural octopus? Octopi? That's a delicious treat. Cake or octopi?
Hi, Joel.
You're not answering me? Meese. Octopi.
I really don't know.
Is it really octopi? Fungi. That guy's a riot.
Okay, so date night.
He's a fun guy. Oh, so I had never done cooked fillets before in the oven.
Jonathan,
So
we're giving you a shout out.
I seared them on the cast iron and then cooked them in a 350-degree oven to perfection. And they turned out great. It was a great experience. And it stretched the borders of my cooking abilities. So,
it was really good.
Where was I
It was
going with that?
honestly the best steak.
It's delicious. Then we had cauliflower balls. What are those called? Cauliflower tater tots.
No, we didn't have those. It was
We
just
did. There were little balls of cauliflower goodness.
No. It was cauliflower mashed cauliflower.
That's delicious. I had cauliflower. I feel like cauliflower is like the new everything. It's everywhere. Everywhere I go, I see cauliflower. It's in it's in tots. Cauliflower.
I'll do it.
Do it. leave it to me. I'll take care of this.
Sea flower.
You're losing your edge. Mine was better.
No, but it was date night. What's our favorite date night? That was the question.
Well, we have only had home date nights lately.
But honestly, I feel like those have been really great.
Honestly, you just said as though it was a lie when I said it.
It's really been great.
It's been fine. Do I miss restaurants and movies
but here's
and
the thing.
going out? Yes.
We've done date nights in all different ways.
Yes. Yes, we have.
There's when we first started dating, we did all kinds of dates.
Yes.
Like go to the grocery store. Well, I guess that was more when we were married. But like Costco and eating stamp, like when we didn't. And what I love what you say is that you can be romantic on any budget. You don't have to wine and dine someone to be romantic. Like you can actually, the more creative the more romantic it is, I think.
It's true. What's your favorite, okay, you like this? What's your favorite date you can ever remember us going on? Our anniversary date was great. I loved that. I'm just saying, like, favorite date when you close your eyes, when you close your mind.
When I close my mind.
Brutal. What date comes to your mind as being your favorite that we've taken?
That's really hard.
It is what it is.
I mean, the one that is really in my mind, and I think because I wrote about it and we talk about it, is the night that Lenny went to heaven.
Ooh, that's your favorite?
No. I'm saying it was a really great date at our house. Like, we had a at home. Ironically, we had an at home date night, and that was a really special one. I'm saying, like, before. You're saying when you close your eyes, that's what comes up.
Yeah. It was wonderful. I would never pick that one. It was horrible.
I'm just saying it was a special night. And our kids weren't home, and that rarely happens where like we're home and our kids aren't home.
Oof.
Like, that's.
You're amazing. See, even that you would say that, I wouldn't bring that up, and if I would pick 20 dates before I would bring that one, because that was so hard. But I love that, like I do see what you're saying. There was a beauty to it. I think it was hard at first that we were not with them. I would do it all over again, because I think it's good for our kids to see us being on dates and focusing in on our relationship with each other, because the truth is that the best thing for your kids is for you to have a strong marriage. I think it's so important. So
But I think that's just at the forefront of my mind.
It's like, that was like not just a Jesus juke. That was like I'm so spiritual, I probably walk on water.
Oh my God.
What is your favorite date night? Oh, the one that ended up being the worst night of our entire lives.
No, I'm just saying that there was beauty. I mean,
I thought you were going to say when I took you to see Hamilton on Broadway, or when what's another really, like, can we have a fun one? Can we not go to the dark
Okay, well,
part?
what about our first date?
We talked about that last tea
time.
We
did. Never mind.
Were you not weird? Tea time. Brutal.
No, I mean, we had a workout date night a couple months ago because we were gonna go on a hike.
That's fun.
That was a fun one.
I like the date nights where I'm such a simple guy. I love when we go see a movie and get popcorn. And that's fun. I like when we've taken. I love
all of our dates. We've done so many different kinds, though.
But quarantine dates have been backyard. We've been loving that. Mm-hmm. Okay. Well.
Oh, from France.
Finally, time.
Hello.
Here we go. Are you ready for it? The Winston Churchill
Ireland
quote of the week.
Okay.
The secret. Are you listening? Are we on YouTube? Are we all here? Are you guys ready? Drum roll, please. The secret to a great marriage, according to Winston Churchill, is never see your spouse before noon if you can avoid it. Or never talk to them before noon. That's what he said. Never talk to your spouse.
Oh, that's why you've been ignoring me till noon.
No, and this is some good quarantine advice from Winston. If you are in the same house a lot, right now we are all that way. It's just knowing there's an extra tension that comes from a lot of time together and space together. And so what he was saying is give each other space. And I think Winston especially was not really a morning person and wasn't always at his best. He just knew when and what it took for him to be at his best. Joel. Yeah, right? When and what it took to be at his best. And I think that's a part of marriage that's important, is knowing, like, hey, I need some time alone too. And that is what we were created for, solitude as well as time in community. So Jesus wasn't just with his disciples all the time. He'd be like, all right, I'm going to leave you guys and go on this mountain. And I think in marriage we have this picture of, like, we're always going to be together. And I think it's important to remember, like, hey, I just need a little bit of time alone. I need to go on a walk. I need to clear my head. And I think for me, it's remembering you need that too. Obviously it used to be on Fridays I would watch the kids so you could go get your nails done. But at the moment, doesn't look like...
Lennox did my nails.
Jenny's new manicurist is 2.5 years old.
I don't know if you can see it, but there's
And like
little
a drunk
glitters.
pirate. He is like a drunk pirate. He is making, he's out of control. So
Oh, that's funny. Can I apply this theory to my kids?
yes.
Don't see your kids
the
before
secret to
noon.
parenting,
They'll be fine.
send your kids to school. So there you go. I'm not trying to be overly spiritual. I just, when I read it, I was like, that actually is really amazing. Him and his wife had this great relationship and great marriage, and all these years she was steadfast in his life. But they just knew they needed space for themselves as well as time for the relationship together.
Yeah, it's good. Good wisdom.
That is my
But that's
favorite.
not what we do. I mean, we give each other time, but we don't not talk to each other.
We give each
before
other a
noon.
wide. I mean, we say hi in the morning and stuff like that. But I feel like we kind of give each other our own space in the morning time. We're not like super chatty first thing in the morning.
No.
That's what I'm saying.
Sometimes if you've been up for hours, you are.
Never before noon. Never. Don't even talk to me.
No,
It's
because
11:30.
you are like today. You got up at 4 a.m.
That was not a plan. That was an accident.
and you already have had so much coffee,
Wow, Jenny, you're
And-
telling everybody all my secrets.
and you had a great morning. But then you're like ready. You're like your day is already
I
like
can
half done.
have too much
So
energy.
I'm the one that needs more like.
Give you a couple hours.
Just
Let her wake up.
Yeah.
That's good. How about y'all? Do you guys have? Who's? Let me ask you this: who's a morning person? Who's a night person? I would love to see that. Oh, there are some questions people have asked. I forgot. There's a feature you can ask questions. Ooh, Last Dance opinion. We are loving that. Thanks for bringing that up. Just finished
Levi
the
is.
first episode. You watched some of it. You were feeling nostalgia vibes because 1994.
1996.
1996.
We were in 8th grade.
There you go, 8th grade, which is Olivia's age, our
I
oldest
know.
daughter.
I know.
So watching that, it's like, oh, that's what she was going to do. Morning for sure.
Night, morning.
I'm ambidextrous.
Melissa.
I love nighttime, and I feel like in this pandemic, I've like reverted back to some of those nighttime vibes. I'm normally very early.
Ooh, Sam Centeno, night.
Yeah, it didn't. see
Megan
that coming.
Cows are just sunshine all the time. That is you.
I'm seeing on YouTube definitely a good rise and
thank
slay.
you.
Megan says morning for sure. See, I don't know. Like Livy and I just finished a Lord of the Rings marathon, and we were at like 1 a.m.
LOTR.
1 a.m. and 2 a.m. For like 4 or 5 days, and we were watching the extended editions, which are like despicably long. It was a bad
Meanwhile,
choice.
I'm sleeping.
But I'll be doing that on, see, there you go. Are you Lord of the Rings fans? Who's a bigger Lord of the Rings fan and Harry Potter? I would like to know who on one or the other side of those. Those feel like they're kind of like evenly. I would say I'm a Lord of the Rings person more than a Harry Potter person.
Samantha.
Only because I hate Harry Potter and I think it's ridiculous. But not because of a boycott of the sorcery
Okay, that's a good
aspect.
question. Caleb Smith, do you have your own Bible time or together as a couple?
What would you say?
Okay, so for the most part, our normal rhythm is we read the Bible on our own. Or right now we're reading, there's a Tim Keller marriage devotional that
We asked a
both-
question and we have to give them a chance to speak into it. We're still talking about The Hobbit.
Lord of the Rings.
I'm seeing Lord of the Rings come in
Slovakia.
strong. You don't have to fear. If you're a Harry Potter fan, feel free to say that. This is not a zone where you're going to get judged for liking
no.
sorcery. I'm seeing more Lord of the Rings, though.
Okay, so
Gryffindor.
we normally have our own quiet times. Like we don't
Yes.
read the Bible together. There are a lot of couples who do that normally, but we'll read separately and then sometimes we'll talk about it and sometimes we won't, but it's not that big of a deal.
Yeah. You should be sorry, Caleb Smith 22. Star Wars over everything.
Star
Wow.
Wars over
That is
everything,
interesting.
Samantha.
I'm a Harry Potter
Oh, hi,
fan.
Lauren. Harry Potter fan.
See, Lauren's bringing the Harry Potter love.
Love you, Lauren.
I was just watching Ryan do the gibberish deciphering. That was a great time. Do say hi to Ryan for us. You guys are amazing. Can't wait till we see you next. Star Wars and Lord of the Rings. So, okay, so that's probably see, my house is divided between Lord of the Rings and Hobbit. I feel like Star Wars and Lord of the Rings.
HB is the devil.
Well, obviously, Dylan, that's correct. Who do you think they're conjuring? All these demon spirits, right? Clearly.
Hunger Games. That's what I'm talking about. That's like one of the only book series I've
Hunger
read.
Games. Fantastic. Game of Thrones. See, now you're starting to take a dark turn. Marvel overall. Yeah, this is great. We're really encouraging all the people today, Jenny. That's for sure.
Back to the Future. Good one. Indiana Jones. Good one.
We have loved, in response to the question, we have loved there's more questions. We've loved the Michael Jordan documentary. Want to keep watching that as well.
The first one.
We read our Bibles alone, and then we talk about it.
Oh.
Well, I'm just saying that was kind of the answer.
Oh,
we both have our own time, and then we'll reflect on it, find a moment. We don't have like every day we do it this way or this time. It's more organic, but most days it comes out, and then we do find time to pray together. Yeah, so there we go.
What was the other one?
Other question?
Yeah.
I don't know. Do you like The Office? Well, come on. Let's talk about unnecessary questions. Obviously, yes. With a passion that will never end.
Ooh, Office or Parks and Rec?
I refuse to answer that
Both.
question. They're both great. That's like saying, do you like the sun or the moon more? Like they both have their place.
Favorite song, RN?
Favorite song right now. Man, I've been really into this Peace Project by Bethel. It's just really been, it's so soothing. It's all like acoustic, just piano and voices, and it's wonderful. I've had that on lately a lot in the house. So Peace by Bethel has been great. And then really, we've been writing lots of new songs in this. Wow, Dylan, way to come to the party late. We just spent the first 30 minutes talking about that.
We just talked about that.
Jeez, please try to keep up. Wait, what was I saying before I made fun of Dylan? Oh, we've been writing so many new songs. It's been
my gosh,
great.
you guys,
Our team,
I can't wait for you
we
guys to
introduced
hear
this new
these.
song called Fear Not this week at Fresh Life. If you caught the weekend, it was beautiful, and I've had it in my head all week, so I can't wait to sing it again. If you didn't join us for the weekend, there's a rebroadcast Wednesday night. We started up a new collection of talks, just two of them, the Siamese twins of the Cabin Fever. It's 2 messages, and we're going to continue it this week.
It's so good.
We kind of changed locations, went remote, went to a little cabin setting, rustic setting, our friend's house, and beautiful windows overlooking the mountains. It was amazing. Yes. How's the tea coming, everybody?
We watch Levi every morning at 7:30. Wow. This has brought us together so much. That's really great.
So what do you want to talk about?
How did the Cards Against Humanity with your kids go? Honestly, we never played it, but it's on my little desk. It's like ready.
We could at any point play it. We got all the fun out of it together with you. Last night, though, let me say this as a challenge to all you dads if you've never done it. I braided. Hey, you took your braid out.
It fell out.
I braided all the kids' hair. I learned how to braid, including Jenny's hair. It's on my Instagram story if you saw it. I braided Olivia's hair, Daisy's hair, Clover's hair, and Jenny's hair, which I've never done Jenny's hair before. I watched this Instagram video, and I'm going to look it up. Who taught it to me? I need to give him proper credit. It was a challenge, and he was like saying, you as a dad should learn to braid your daughter's hair if you have a daughter. And so I was like, well, fine, I will. And it was challenging and overwhelming, but then very enjoyable. I will say this. And you
actually do a really good job.
Although Daisy does complain that I braid.
Well, you just kind of pull a little bit.
Yeah.
And she has a sensitive head.
Anyhow, the video was called.
I vote John Mark Creamer to do that.
Yeah, I'm gonna try and find it. I want to give him credit. He's a hairdresser in Nashville, and I cannot remember his name for the life of me. But he encouraged me.
You're not my dad.
Yes, Jenny did say you're not my dad. Because I said, I'm going to braid all my daughter's hair. And she said, you are not my dad. That's a good question. How did you come up with your kids' names? We had a book.
It's not as spiritual as you might think. Well, no, because Olivia...
1,000 baby names. Yeah.
Okay, they all involved some kind of like baby name app or something where we were just scrolling. It was like,
with Olivia, it was a real book.
But we liked Olivia, but then I was like, oh, what if we did Olivia? That's awesome. And then Sky is Levi's mom's name, so Olivia Sky. Lenya Avery, so Levi's godmother is named Lenya, and we love that name. So Lenya, and then Avery, I literally was like, I heard someone call their kid Avery one time. I was like, oh, that's a cool name. You guys are not going to think this is awesome. Okay.
Keep going.
Daisy Grace. So for me, Daisy is special because I have an aunt who passed away when I was younger, whose name is Daisy. And she's just one of my favorite people. I love her so much. And Grace because, well, do I need to just explain Grace?
Of course.
But for Levi, Daisy is from Tombstone. You're Daisy if you do.
When you said the name Daisy, I immediately thought about Tombstone. Have you seen Tombstone? Do you love that as much as I do? And I instantly loved Daisy because of Doc Holliday.
Yeah. And then Clover, yes, you guessed it right. Clover is named after the Starbucks coffee machine. Clover Dawn. But Dawn is special because Dawn is Levi's grandmother's
Chris
name.
Whipple. His name is Chris Whipple.
Chris Whipple. But
Chris Whipple told me
to braid your
daughter's hair. And I highly recommend, if you're ever in Nashville, get your hair cut by Chris with a K. He works at the Yellow House Salon in downtown Nashville.
How do you know that?
I just Googled it.
Oh.
I remember it was called Yellow House when I couldn't remember his name, but he's the owner of the Yellow House Salon. Remember when we were there, we were doing either a tour stop or we were doing something for the Belonging Co. And they set up for me to get my hair cut.
Oh, right.
Okay.
So anyways, yes, Clover Dawn. And then Lennox, so this is kind of a sweet one. So Lennox Alexander Lesko. Levi's initials of his name is L-A-L. Levi Aaron Lesko. And Lenya's initials were L-A-L, Lenya Avery Lesko, which we didn't intentionally do, but that's just how it was. So Levi and Lenya, they liked to say that they were in the L-A-L club. Mm-hmm. And so when we knew we were having a boy, I was like, he definitely needs to be in the L-A-L club.
That's
and
right.
So we were just trying to look at names that started with an L. So the two were Lincoln and Lennox. And it was so funny because at the time we were traveling more than normal. Well, probably the same as normal. Not now, though. Now is no traveling. But when we were in one city, like everything was Lincoln. Like, so we were literally in a place where we were like trying to figure out Lincoln or Lennox. And one city was like everything was Lincoln, Lincoln Boulevard, Lincoln Memorial, Lincoln blah blah blah. And then this other city was everything was Lennox.
It was
Georgia.
No, it was it was Atlanta was Lennox everywhere,
and
Los Angeles. If you in the like Abbott Kinney area, Santa Monica, I feel like we were seeing Lincoln every time we turned around, and then the next week we were in Atlanta and we could not figure out between the two.
I know.
Anyhow,
but anyway, so Lennox is special though because it nods to Lenya, obviously L-E-N.
Oh, and I don't have to get any tattoos.
What are you doing?
No, do you have to do the gangster thing?
What? On what?
I don't know, jack it off. So this is my kid tattoo. I have Daisy, a lion for Lenya, Clover, that's a wild clover, and then olive branch for Olivia, and a lion for Lenya. But what Olivia realized is I already had an X that was already there.
Oh.
So now I've got 5
I just realized
for
that
all of
too.
our 5 kids. But I didn't have to get a Lennox tattoo because Lennox was there all along holding these kids together. How beautiful is that?
So
and like
cool.
as a brother protecting his sisters, 1 boy, 4 girls. So it just really is a beautiful accident. And I didn't realize that till after he was already born.
Oh, that's really cool. So anyways, Lennox Alexander Lesko.
That's all the kids we have.
That's all we have.
Yeah, that's all of them. So that's
I
really
agree,
fun.
Johnny.
What else?
So, yeah. I can't see any questions.
Well, you have to. I'm trying to bring in somebody. We had a couple guests planned today, if that's okay.
Oh, so yes, you should listen to the message from this weekend if you didn't listen to it already. Stir Crazy in our Cabin Fever series. Literally, so Levi was going to do this Cabin Fever series before we were in quarantine, and it honestly, I feel like this happens all the time where it just like what he thinks of and then what ends up happening, like whatever we're learning going through in the church just perfectly lines up. I know we talked a little bit about this last week where the first message of the year was wash your hands.
And Tauren Wells is with us.
Oh, hi Tauren.
Thank you so much. Oh my gosh, it's so happy to see you.
I'm so happy.
Do you have any tea?
I do have tea, not on me. Do I need to get some?
No, you don't.
No,
we just have tea.
We'll cheers for you.
We have tea every week at Tuesday in the afternoon, and now we wanted to bring you into our tea time because we love you, and I thought of you.
Well, I actually love tea. That's what people may not know, is I'm a huge lemon ginger guy.
Really?
You know?
Oh.
Yeah. I have a very fine taste, as you could tell.
Where do you get this tea
throw
from?
some honey in there, dash of milk. It's incredible.
I like it.
That is
Where do you
great.
buy the tea from? Is it Trader Joe's or do you go like super highbrow?
We don't have Trader Joe's here, Levi. We have a place called HEB.
Okay.
It's an acronym. Not quite sure what it stands for, but it's the local grocery store here.
Okay, we don't have
either.
Trader Joe's either. But whenever we're near one, we always like fill our suitcase up and bring home.
Nice. What tea do you guys like to drink?
I'm pretty basic. I like black tea in the morning or throughout the day, and then sleepy time tea. Now I love sleepy time tea. Have you ever had that?
I haven't. No.
Oh my gosh, there's nothing better than sleepy time tea. Drink it right before you want to go to bed, then read a little bit, and you just start feeling drowsy.
Ooh, that's what I need.
It's made by Celestial Seasonings. It's got a bear wearing pajamas on the box. I mean, you can't do better than that.
Can't beat it.
No,
Can't beat it.
Scientifically impossible. Now, you're in Houston right now?
I'm in Houston, yep.
How are you guys doing?
We're doing all right. It's been a different change of pace, you know, as it has been for everyone. We are definitely fortunate in that, you know, we're healthy.
Tauren, someone in the comments just notified me that there is in fact Trader Joe's in Houston.
Really?
So we may have just made your life a lot better in this Instagram Live and YouTube Live right now.
Okay, we're going to have to find that. There's not one close to my house, but I'm willing to
If only
drive.
there was an app where you could look for businesses in your city. Someone should invent that during this crisis.
Yeah, that'd be huge. If they could deliver the groceries,
it would be paradigm
that
shifting,
would be
really.
amazing.
You could almost Google it.
Yeah.
Hey, I did want to say this.
I never thought of that.
Congratulations. You just had a song go platinum.
Yeah. What in the world?
Amazing.
Bro.
That
Did they mail you the platinum record yet? Do you have that?
No, they sent me a JPEG.
Ah. Is what it is. Times are tight.
Not quite the same. I think the quarantine shut down the old plaque delivery or something. But no, I had a Zoom call, Microsoft Teams call, one of those things with the label today to celebrate. So it was really cool. I don't understand how those types of things happen. It's so cool. So I'm still in shock a little bit.
Well, congratulations. Well deserved. Also wanted to plug your new devotional book, Your Citizen of Heaven. If anyone's looking for just a way to recharge your relationship with Jesus, you have a devotional that goes along with your newest record. Tell us a little bit about it.
Yeah, it's called The Devotions, Volume 1. Super creative. Went to the creative team. We labored over it for months. Came out with The Devotions. It's a devotional. And it's based off of
it's so simple. Anybody could come up with a name like that, but it's perfect.
Thank you. So yeah, it's just walking through songs It's actually from the Hills and Valleys album. I did a collection of devotions with the YouVersion Bible app for some of my songs like Known, God's Not Done With You, When We Pray. And then I've written articles here and there and stuff. So kind of compiled all of that information along with some new stuff into one consolidated resource that is an actual paperback. So just something that was in my heart to do. A lot of better writers, a lot of better material out there, but I thought it would be cool just to put it all in one space. So
well, I think it's so brilliant, and the way it ties in the songs and the stories, and I think it's incredible. So definitely recommend that, because so it's actually Hills and Valleys content, but the brand is the Citizen of Heaven branding.
Yes, it is, because I threw it in some of the boxes that I made up to send people, but I haven't started working ahead yet. So now I'm working on Citizen of Heaven devotions and material and stuff like that.
That's cool. So someone just asked in the comments about which album went platinum. So yeah, it was the Hills and Valleys album.
Hills and Valleys
just became. And what is that? Is that $250,000 to become platinum?
It's $1 million.
$1 million. I was way off.
Yeah.
Big goals. Samsonite.
Yeah. Swanson.
Slappy Swans. Yes. That's incredible.
That's so amazing.
Now, is Lorna there? Is she wrangling kiddos? What's going on with her?
So we have to play. It's like tag team defense here. If one of us has a call, the other one is on kid duty, and vice versa. I had a kid sneak in here earlier. You probably heard him screaming as he was dragged out through the door.
It's so real, and we're all dealing with it, so it just makes it
that
so
is
relatable.
The benefit where we're at. Our oldest is now so Jenny just had a call, then I had a call, now we have one together. So they're probably on their 4th or 5th Netflix episode of something. But when you have one that's at least old enough to actually sort of step in, it really does change the game. So there's something to look forward to.
Yes, and I am looking forward to it with great anticipation.
Whenever that next pandemic comes, it's going to be a whole different ballgame for you. You guys are going to be really ready for it.
Yeah, okay, so it's rare that I have both of you right here at my disposal. If you were to give someone like me, we haven't been married for very long, 9 years, if you were going to pour into Lorna and I's marriage, what advice would you give?
Jennifer? Well, first of all, you did all the hard part in selection, because Lorna's amazing. I think a lot of people get into relationships that they weren't ever maybe meant to be in, and then they have to do a lot of work on the back end. When you make a good choice in marriage, you marry someone with a deep soul, with a beautiful heart, that makes it so much easier. But what would you say? Best advice?
Oh gosh. You should say something first.
Well, we began the call today with a quote by Winston Churchill, who said, if you can avoid it, never speak to your spouse before noon. And he said that's the secret.
Brilliant.
He said it's a secret to great marriage. Now, I think we've been saying there is some wisdom in it, in that if you know you're not at your best, lean into that and find ways to serve each other and give each other the space you need. The Bible does say in the book of Proverbs, cursed shall be the man who greets his brother with a loud voice rising too early in the morning.
Come on. That is a word.
So
I need to get my wife in here to hear that. She's always up before me.
Tell her to give you some space until noon, and then everything.
Oh my gosh. No, I mean, I would say what I've been learning is I have to find my identity and life in Christ. Like, I can't get that from Levi, and I think that's a fight to keep like walking in, is knowing that I have to be so satisfied in Christ and my relationship with him, and from there, then my life with Levi is going to be only sweeter, because I'm not expecting him to be God in my life or to be what he can't be, but his relationship with me is sweet, and I can pour into him, and like it's sweeter when I'm not expecting him to be what he can't be for me. And I feel like that's something that I'm always learning. But I mean, we just celebrated 16 years, and I feel like I'm still growing in that selfless thing.
Yeah, we've always loved that triangle thing. Like, if you're both trying to get to Jesus, you're going to get closer to each other, as opposed to trying to get just close to each other. if we're both seeking Christ together, I mean, you really do find that strength.
Yes.
But man, it's been tough.
And
just
the Illuminati.
To be real talk.
That always helps too.
Illuminati! Yeah. You're wrong. You shouldn't say that on the internet. There's so many theories out there. Okay.
Sorry.
Okay, so, but real talk for a second, this is hard. The so much of each other, like, and all the stressors and all the, you and I are both normally traveling a lot, and so it's a lot more time together. All of a sudden, it's been thrust on us. Has that been hard for y'all?
Yeah, well, it's been I have not been able to find my equilibrium. I feel like I just feel off. Like it's hard to get motivated, to be productive because the demand of my life is so based on the schedule and the pace of it. So once you remove the structure of that, that's all we've known in our marriage and in our dating life. I've always been traveling. So it's built into how we operate as a family, how I personally operate as an individual, like my time on a plane where I'm listening to messages or writing things. Now I have to carve that out of a day, and I'm failing. It's difficult because there isn't the same demand on me right now to produce. So it's an interesting thing to try to be productive when the demand really isn't there.
Wow.
That makes
sense? Great. No, it absolutely does. And I think giving ourselves extra grace for that and learning ways to creatively bring into our days those sorts of things, that's a really good insight. Yeah, I hadn't even thought about that. That normal plane time that you get, that normal takeoff and landing, rest that you get where you're not texting, that you have to replace that somehow.
Yeah.
Yes. And then how do you filter the unique demands that this situation brings? Like, I love doing the Zoom calls and getting to connect with people. It's also pretty relentless,
No, it's true. It's exhausting.
Yeah.
Totally.
It can be more, it can actually feel like more than when we were face to face.
Exactly. So now the flip side of it is getting to hear from people in different ways. And what I really feel like perhaps the most valuable way, which is through conversation, I've made a big shift in what I'm listening to, from sermons to panels and Q&As where, am I breaking up? Where things are more conversation driven. And it's been so cool to see, like with Tea Time, with what Judah's doing, Hold the Phone, Rich and Don Cherie, in that conversational tone, sharing insights and stuff. That has been very life-giving to me, more than the polished sermons that we've all preached 15 times that smash. Like you sharing about your marriage right there was very, very impactful to me. So that's been a real cool part of it.
Bro.
Yeah, totally.
Well, I'm trying to even just in my head get around it, but get my head around what you're even saying, how wise that is. But my viewing and consumption patterns have changed too. I hadn't even thought about it until you just said it, but I have been going to different things where I normally would listen to more just podcasts straight up. I have been listening to more dynamic, interesting live stuff, and I wonder what the long-term good of that will be. But that is really insightful. Bro, we have to get you to preach at Fresh Life. You're gonna it's got to happen this year.
It'll happen.
Bro, I would love to. As soon as they let us travel beyond our block again, I'm there.
Oh my gosh. Well, listen, say hi to Lorna for us. Give those kids a hug. We'll have to do this again in a different form. Maybe we'll get both our spouse, all four of us, and do a little thing together sometime.
Let's do it. We'll get actual tea this time.
I'll give you a better heads up to get your tea together.
The kids will be on their own, but it'll be fine.
They may or may not survive.
Yeah, they'll be fine.
Love you, bro.
Love you guys,
Thanks,
too.
Tauren.
Thanks so
Appreciate
much
you.
for letting me jump on.
What a great person. After we figured out the audio.
Kind.
Well, this has been a very good tea time. We do have one more tea time guest to bring in. I know. I didn't even tell Jenny. That's how our marriage goes so well. We keep secrets from each other.
Oh my gosh. No, it's a surprise. I see it as a surprise.
Yeah, it's not a secret. It's just a fun moment.
Love that.
Where are you? Well, man, I thought that was really insightful.
No,
I'm going to have to think about that more.
Well, you know, it's interesting. I was thinking about that the other day because I feel like we're so different where you are always reading, you're always listening to something, you're always consuming something. But for me, I feel like I almost get overwhelmed by all the different options. So instead of sometimes picking one thing, I just don't pick anything. But then that's not great either because I'm not learning anything. But I just feel like I easily get overwhelmed just in general. But if I can just pick like, hey, I want to be encouraged by this message or read this book or whatever, I'm good with like little bite-sized pieces. Yeah. But I think because you're always taking in some way, I'm like, oh man, I can't do that. I can't learn all the things from everybody. It's just an interesting thing. I was literally just thinking about though, how different we are in that.
Yeah, it's true. Well, and we're at different stages of life too. You're getting ready for the book release and got more stuff going on.
Oh,
Craig and Amy Groeschel.
Hey.
Pastor Levi and Jenny.
Craig, how are we doing?
Hey, we're doing fantastic. How are you guys?
Good.
Very good. Where's the sweaty dogs?
That would be us. I told
we're sweaty.
No, you're the sweaty dogs?
Pastor Levi said, can you come on? I said, if you don't mind us looking like sweaty dogs.
My hair.
I thought you were taking your dogs on a walk and you were going to bring sweaty dogs in.
That would be us.
Hilarious.
For the record,
Yeah,
Amy,
there's only one dog here, but we're the other two, I guess.
It's great to see you guys.
Amy, Craig,
Can we have a big church party?
Hey, what's up, Sam Groeschel? I just saw Sam.
Oh.
Is this what it takes to see our children? How are you guys doing?
This is it. Sam is in Tulsa. We're in Oklahoma City. We're doing good, man. How are you guys?
Yes.
Wish we were in Montana with you.
Did you just get back from one of your walks?
We did.
Yeah.
We did.
Yeah.
We
So
sure did.
Is that the key?
Marriage building time.
Episode. Is that the keys to the marriage?
We've kind of decided that it is.
For us, it is.
Yeah. Well, but scientifically, even because you were saying that it's doing something side by side that makes your endorphins and all the feel good things happen with the person that you are growing closer to as you talk. I mean, sometimes we fight on our walks, but it's something that needed to come out, so it's, we process a lot and it's great.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Yeah, we believe it's a really strategic part of our marriage. It may not be for everybody, but for us it is.
But I mean,
and when we went on a walk, go ahead.
No, please.
Oh, well, we were out at a public place walking a week ago, and all these couples and families were out like we'd never seen before, but yet COVID got everybody out on the walk. And, that's a great positive, isn't it, to see the relationships growing.
Are you guys taking more walks together now or same as always?
About the same.
Yeah, we're pretty consistent. Weather pending.
Yeah.
So
what are you guys doing right now?
We're having tea. We're looking into the faces of two of our favorite people on the entire earth. Can we please get some hearts coming up? I want to see some hearts come up. Pastor Craig and Amy Groeschel.
Yes.
Just how loved you guys are.
Love you guys so much.
You guys are, I was thinking about it today. So look at all those hearts for you guys. There's not enough.
What's my hat say?
The hat says, "Let there be light." That is from Red Rocks Church, right?
Yes.
You have one like this, don't you, too?
Sean and Jill.
Yes.
Pastor Sean Johnson?
And Jill Johnson.
And Jill
with all the hearts.
Johnson.
We love Red Rocks. Yeah.
But you guys are our marriage mentors for us because there is such a sweetness to your relationship.
Yeah. Well, I love that you said
Thank you.
that your walks, you also fight on your walks. I feel like that's so real because it's so true. Like there have been so many times where we're walking and just talking things out. But I think so often we expect like, oh, walking together should just be nice and kind. But it's like, no, if you're walking and doing life together, it should bring up stuff that you need to talk about. I just think that's so helpful to hear that you guys do that.
Yeah, 99% of them are very positive, and then there were two, I think, that I had to tell Amy not to be so loud because the neighbors would be like, that's Pastor Craig and Amy having a knockdown, drag-out fight.
It was a growth opportunity.
There's a growth opportunity.
Did you guys start the walks at a certain point? Did you realize to employ those?
I think they were accidental for us. Like we, you've been to our house, so we live in a place where you can kind of walk down the street and see a lot of beautiful, in Oklahoma, people don't think of hills, but we actually live in a hilly, pretty part.
Side of town.
Yeah, pretty side of town. And so it started out just as a time to get some exercise. And then we kind of grew to realize it really is probably one of the most important parts of our marriage, because it'll be an hour walk. And that gives us time to talk about things that we hadn't talked about otherwise. Deal with issues, talk, sometimes Amy talks almost the whole time and she needs to, like today. And other times, I'll work through things, and we'll process sermon ideas or talk about our kids or issues we need to work through. And again, I think the scientific part is that we're releasing endorphins, we're side by side, we're outside together. In fact, they say if you're depressed or suicidal, one of the most important things you can do is go for a walk outside with a friend. All those things. So you're in sunshine, you're seeing nature. The ceiling's not low. You've got the expanse of God's creation. You're processing with somebody, you're getting exercise. And so all those things together, it could be that you're working out, or it could be having some hobby, but Amy likes the face-to-face, like, well, turn your face and talk to me. I prefer doing something together. And so it gives her the emotional connection. It gives me the physical expression of doing something together. And then all those things seem to make for lots of kids.
Yes,
true. Not anymore. Now it made for grandkids.
Now made for grandkids.
That is hilarious.
That's amazing.
Well, yeah, but even like when it's hard, like we just the other day we had a fight. It was Friday night, if you don't mind me divulging, and we kind of had going into the weekend. Obviously, I have a lot of extra energy, just all this intensity. She does as well. She's dealing with more of me because I'm never taking trips anymore. So it just kind of all came to a head on Friday. But then I said, let's take a walk. And we ended up taking a couple of laps around the block. And it just really seemed to be a good way. And we hadn't done that before.
Well, it's kind of, I think we're in a season too where like Lennox was sleeping. Clover was sad that we were gone. But I think we're at a season too where it's like we can't leave as much, but it did help so much. And it was almost like a peek into the future of like, oh, we'll probably get to do this more as the kids get older.
That is so true.
Yep.
Because, when our kids were littler, I guess we could have started leaving them. We just didn't discover it.
One time we left Mandy
on accident
on a walk. She was a baby and she fell asleep.
For 5 minutes.
Yeah, like 5 minutes. But we got down to the end of the drive. We were like, wait, we have 2 kids, not 1.
That's really
That's so real.
Okay, so Amy, while we have you here, there's a lot of people who are plunged into homeschooling who don't have any idea what's going on. What would you say you're a master homeschooler. You have homeschooled so many kids. What would you say to the mom out there who's just or dad out there who's losing their cool? They don't know what's going on. They can't figure this out. Give them some tips.
Well, I'm the master of having all the years of failures. So I've learned a lot through those failures, though. And so anything you've done wrong, I've done it way more times. But I don't want to stay there, and none of us do. And so I've had a lot of years to get it right. Still working on that. But you just can't take it all so seriously. It is the faithfulness of anything, day by day. Rome wasn't built in a day. Your kids' education won't be built in a day. And so just taking it moment by moment, not even day by day, but moment by moment. And I am pretty strong-willed. And so some of my strong-willed kids, it was really hard because I didn't want to budge. But I would say you have to budge. You have to take be the do the right thing first. Your kid's not going to have the maturity probably to do that, and step away from that tension of wills and of what you think must happen because you're the parent, and get over that. You have to complete this or this, and, because I was just too many times just really stubborn with what had to happen. Kids, that's not going to help them to succeed, to live in that and have that mentality. So you have to soften a lot of times, I found, like your stance, and be willing to be flexible for their good, not to the point where nothing's getting done, but certainly compromises, because, remember that you're dealing not just with their education, but their heart, and your relationship is at stake all the time, building bridges or tearing them down. So the relationship side of it just is crazy important.
So good.
Jeez.
So true.
Thank
Wow.
you. Gosh, I
for
can
that.
see tons of comments, and I know that's encouraging a lot of people, us included.
Me, yes.
And you guys give us hope. We look at you guys where you're at, serving-wise, church-wise. By the way, everyone should, if you haven't, subscribe to Pastor Craig's Leadership Podcast. So many great things. What a great idea to come out of this quarantine time, a better leader in the home and church. Obviously, all their books, podcasts. You guys have written books together too, right?
We have. We've done one. Yep.
Yep.
Amazing.
And that one's called what?
From This Day Forward.
So From This Day Forward.
Yep.
Craig, have you read? What's your favorite you've read lately?
Favorite book lately? What'd you say?
Who? Together? Each, we don't read
Or
together.
that you've read.
Oh. Well, I'm loving right now a classic Philip Yancey that I'm reading to my high schoolers, called The Bible That Jesus Read. So it's just so good.
Wow.
Everybody should read it.
I think my favorite next read is by this lady named Jenny Luxco.
Oh,
Jenny
Levi.
Lusco.
Jenny Levi? No, Jenny Lusko. That's right. Oh, my lands. I don't have your copy yet. I've got to get a book. I've got to post about it.
We'll send you one. It comes out May 5th. We're super excited.
Oh, it's not out. Okay.
Yeah.
I thought it was out.
Thank you for endorsing it, Amy.
So how big of a deal is it that no bookstores are open?
It's weird, right?
Yeah, is that a big deal for book release?
I don't know.
I haven't thought about it.
I don't know.
Yeah,
Well,
I mean, so many books are bought at BarnesandNoble.com and Amazon. I imagine it will affect it. But I think I heard more people are reading books right now than ever.
Yeah.
Yeah, that makes sense.
It's called The Fight to Flourish.
I got a stack of them.
Are you working on a new one, Pastor?
Not at the moment, but I'm trying to gear myself up for it. How about you?
Yeah, good. I just finished a draft for one. Yeah.
Congratulations.
Well, you know what,
Thank you.
Jenny, I think it's so cool. Flourish had been a theme for your girls at church, but the fight to flourish during this season. I mean, hello, none of us knew, but what kind of a prophetic entrance of a message for a time like this. I mean, praise God. We're going to need that word just you'll probably have fresh eyes on it as well with this different outlook.
Yeah, I'm so thankful. Yeah, thank you. Gosh.
Hey,
we need to come.
Really
we need to come see the fresh live crew in the new building too. Congratulations.
I know.
Hey,
Let's just travel. Let's have a party.
It's once the traveling embargo is lifted, we'll have to have you guys back out here. We love you guys so much. Craig, have you read anything recently you've loved?
I'm trying to think. There's nothing that stands out I've listened to recently. I wish I could tell you something, but nothing stands out.
Well, your book recommendations are always exquisite, and you both are examples to us, leaders, icons. We think of you and are always refreshed by your example, even just that you guys are able to do all that you've done and continue to love each other so sweetly. Your relationship is so special. Yeah. So thank you for your friendship and voice in our lives. I know I speak on behalf of many when I say thank you for being who you are. Yeah.
Well, we count you guys in our inner circle. If there's anybody we want to spend time with and align ourselves with and cheer on, and your hearts you're pure, your leadership is great, your heart for God. And at our church, if we ever say Pastor Levi and Jenny are coming, they get pretty dang excited. So,
You guys are such gifts.
yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
Yeah.
can't wait
Well,
till we see you
thanks
together.
for having us on.
This was pretty sweet. Thanks,
Yeah,
guys.
thank you. Love you guys.
Okay, love you guys. See ya.
Love you guys.
Well, this has been a delightful tea time.
fun.
We've had some nice friends. Thank you, Tauren, for jumping on. Thank you so much, Pastor Craig and Amy Groeschel. Thank you to every one of you on the live. Your questions, little thoughts. It's been fun mixing it up with some guests. And look, we're not getting kicked off yet. We'll take a few more minutes and just enjoy your beautiful faces before we go. I do want to say that if you haven't yet pre-ordered The Fight to Flourish, I can't wait for that to come out. It's going to be incredible. I know that it's always timely to work on your own development, but I think especially in this time, it's going to be perfect. So you can grab that anywhere books are sold. The audiobook, she did it with her own voice.
I'm excited about the
Congratulations.
audiobook.
Yep.
I'm actually really excited about it. And there's a Bible study that goes along with it.
I'm
too,
seeing it was ordered through a library. I'm sure I also saw someone said they ordered it at a local bookstore that is arranging for curbside pickup, so that's an option. But then, of course, Barnes & Noble and Lifeway and all the normal retailers are going to have it as well.
So amazing.
Well, you guys, we will see you next Tuesday for tea time. This weekend, our Cabin Fever series continues. We'd love to see you at Fresh Life. And thank you so much for spending a few minutes of your day with us. Hope you had a good cup of tea. Did I say the right way?
Cup of tea.
Mug of tea. And until next time,
Tea.
what's your sign off today?
Hey, love you. Be warmed. Be filled. Be strong.
This is
be
going.
great.
This is going
be
badly.
Happy.
This is going badly.
Be kind.
This is going. We have to go now.